Hi my dear students, welcome you all in 8th standard. Today I am here to interact with you on the very interesting subject. Guess which one is that? Yes, it is history. You know that we live in Aurangabad and Aurangabad is very famous for its heritage, culture and that. So just see here our book, history. Lots of buildings, lots of monuments are there, red forts, Gandhi Kuti, many things are there, parliament, such things are here. So here today we are going to learn the sources of history. What are the sources of history? Let us see. We have studied the sources of ancient and medieval Indian history. This year we are going to study the sources of modern Indian history. Historical sources include material, written and oral sources. Similarly, sources based on modern technologies such as audio, video and audiovisual are included. See the material sources. What are the material sources? First one, material sources. In material sources, various objects are there. Various objects in material sources, that the books, that the newspapers, or that written forms, that biography, autobiography, the written forms, then objects are there, many things are there, then utensils are there, that are also the sources of the history. Then the monuments like Taj Mahal, Red Fort, various palaces, these are also the material sources, as well as some places, very important places where one great leader get the birth, or where what happened, that independence struggle from where it gets started, that places. Even coins are also the historical in that material sources for to get the knowledge of history. How that we come to know from which century the coins are belongs. The coins, suppose today we have 1 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees coins. So that coins are what? That are also the sources to get knowledge about particular era or particular period. Then the sculptures. Means many statues, sculptures are there, that even that caves in our Aurangabad, we know that the very famous caves are there. In that caves, the sculpture, through that sculpture we come to know that what is our history is, how the people were used to live, what kind of life they lived. So that sculpture also the material sources. Then buildings and palaces, places. Too much buildings are there, that the buildings are very popular to get the knowledge about the particular period or the history, we can say. See that buildings, bridges, roads, water supply, fountain, especially when that British government was there in our India, that time what happened? The British people built lots of buildings. For example, in Mumbai, that fort area is there. So the buildings and that the design of the building, even the bridges made by the British government, roads, water supply, even that Mohenjo-daro, you know that how the water supply was there. Water supply, fountain, these are also the sources. Which sources? Buildings and places. Then the buildings, that time government offices, especially the buildings are famous to get more information about the history through the government offices, residence of officers, leaders, revolutionaries, means that revolutionary peoples or their leaders or their officers, what kind of life they lived or what works they did or how they were very much famous to get particular information. So their residents were also the sources. These residences are also the very important sources to get the information. Then the palaces. In history we had seen that many kings were there, kingdoms were there. So that king used palaces, and that palaces also provides us information, that forts and prisons also. How the prisons? See, Andaman Nicobar, that Andaman island, VIII-1.SOURECES, he was there in the jail by British government. So we come to know about that particular jail, how the jail is, how the people were used to live there. So that kinds of prisons also are the sources of getting information about the history. And then after, statues and memorials also. During the pre-independence and post-independence period, memorial of many personalities were erected in the form of statues. These statues are also important for the study of modern Indian history. In modern Indian history, we can study through the statues. That statues are also very important to get the information, to study the history. The various statues provide information about the contemporary rulers and eminent personalities. Very famous and popular personalities we get through the statues. We get the information about that particular leaders, that particular personalities through the statues. The display flag on the statues gives us information about the full name of the concerned person, birth and death details. Brief information about their contribution and biographical sketch of the person. We have seen that the statues have the information stone, and on the stone each and every means their name, birth, death and the reasons or what work they did or for what they were popular for, leader or famous personalities or what. That all information we get through the means that on that stone, on that display flag. See, just the statues of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, Lokmanya Tilak, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, there are memorials which are erected in memory of various events which gives us information about the concerned event period, people related to the event, etc. For example, Hutatma Smarak at various places. In even our Aurangabad also Hutatma Smarak is there. So we come to know about the personalities. We get the information about the personalities. We can study through the various statues and memorials. Suppose any memorial we are going to visit, so that time what we get lots of information about the particular period or particular era. Then the sources. How the sources are divided? The sources are divided into written sources and oral sources. So that we will see later on.